Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Glad you can be here today alongside Jan is with me. Hey, Jan. Um,
Hey, Steve. Hey, everybody.
so, what we're going to talk about today, and it just happened to be something that crossed my mind that I think would be pretty good, is 4 ways on how to go about preparing chicken. And I've got 4 different, um, I'm not going to give the whole recipe, but I'm going to give each one of the, what it is. Of the way to prepare chicken, and then basically I guess we'll just go where it takes us. But one of the first ones that I came up with to prepare, it's fairly easy, it's not hard, doesn't cost a lot of money to do, is this one right here. Um, my godparents, I never met them. I don't know who they are. It's probably a different generation of godparent now because this was 50 years ago, going on 51. Chicken adobo. It's a fairly easy recipe to put together. All you're doing there is you're sautéing onions, garlic, mushroom, boiling up a pot of chicken drumsticks, and then when the drumsticks are done, you just take the drumsticks, add it to the mixture, and then just go over it with soy sauce and roll it. Add more soy and roll it until it becomes of a of a brown color that looks acceptable, and then you just turn it off, and then that's all there is to preparing the chicken adobo. And it's not all that much because you're not paying a lot of money per pound for a package of chicken. Even if you buy a family pack usually runs about $1.39, 49 or so in the store. I see it all the time. So it's not like you're paying a lot. An onion is pretty inexpensive. Garlic is pretty inexpensive. So it's not like you're uh, paying out a lot of money. Um, and then I've got a second one. Again, you can use whatever type of variety of stir fry that you want. If you happen to purchase a rotisserie chicken at the wholesale club, this is a prime example. Any leftovers that you may have, you can always take the meat that's off of there and put it within the stir fry, cook it all together, add a little soy sauce, and then you can put it over some rice. And then you got a pretty inexpensive 1, 2, 3 meal, you know, and it's not going to break the bank or, you know, be a lot of money, to feed, because that right there will easily feed a family of about 4 people if you think about it, the way that you do it up. Um, the fourth, no, take that back. The third one, this is not hard. All you got to do here, never made a chicken pot pie from scratch, but there really can't be all that much to it. You can take a can of chicken breast already made up, just drain it. You can get chicken gravy, or whatever kind of gravy you want, a frozen bag of vegetables to do a pot pie. And I guess you just put it all inside the pie shell, and then you just cover it, and then you just bake it off for however how long a time it takes to cook. And then that would be pretty much your recipe for a chicken pot pie. Like I said, it's nothing I've ever made, but I'm just, you know, giving from memory that if I were to try to make it and put it together, that's how I would do it. And then the last one, number 4, is a chicken parmesan. This one,
Mm.
chicken breast, tomato sauce, parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese, and I guess what you're doing there is you're just, layering it in like a 13 by 9 casserole dish, and then you just bake it for about, I don't know, however how long it takes to cook, 25, 30 minutes, whatever it is. And then that's pretty much it. when it comes to making chicken parmesan. So that gives you something to go by. And again, feel free to go online and look up these recipes on your own. I'm sure there's other ways that you could probably enhance it or do something to it to change it because really all of these recipes are all blank canvases. So,
You
Jane,
know, I love
what do you?
these. And I just want to jump in a second. I really
All
love
right.
your choices. You know what's so interesting? They are all entirely different. Everything you mentioned is its own category. The other thing that is similar in everyone, none of them break the bank.
No,
None of them have so many needless ingredients. So these choices, in my honest opinion, are a winner. And also the method of which you're making these things. Like, for example, if you don't mind me jumping in on the chicken parmesan, I love chicken parmesan on myself, especially with thin spaghetti on the side. For some reason,
hmm
that always tastes really good together. I love that together. And like, baking it off like that, just flouring, egg, breadcrumb, and all that, and then just throw it in your oven. And then halfway through, flip it over, and then you could take jarred spaghetti. So I'm just sharing my quick way to do it. Jarred spaghetti sauce, put it on top of the cutlets, and then add some nice shredded mozzarella. Wait till everything melts down. You got it all in one baking tray. No fuss, no muss, low cost, and delicious. And it's a great swap out for pizza when you're craving pizza. This way, you're getting protein and your mozzarella
yeah.
and your tomato sauce. Great recipe, Steve.
Oh, yeah. So that's just a few that I happen to come up with. But I will say this. This is where the recipe on chicken parmesan might get a little bit slightly out of the budget category. I'll tell you why. I like using two different types of jarred spaghetti sauces. I am picky. If I'm not making my own, I'm either going to use Rayo's or I'll use one called Botticelli. I will not use anything else. I'm I might, maybe, depending on what kind of sale I get, I may purchase Classico, Bertolli, or maybe even Newman's Own. It's not all that bad. But those are a little bit of a fallback. But if really deep down, if I can't make my own, I'm going to use Rayo's or the Botticelli. Botticelli and sometimes Rayo's, I can get a BOGO on it. I can get two jars for the price of one. So that makes it worth. And I usually get the traditional Botticelli, and it's extremely good. I'm very happy with the taste. Um, so that is one place that I might slip a little bit off the budget track, so I can have a little bit better product to have a little bit better tasting food. But does that mean you
And
have to
there's
go
nothing
out?
wrong with that, Steve. There's nothing wrong with that. Variety is the spice of life. If you could get it at a good price, that's even better. For the same quality, that's even better.
Right. I mean, I'm not trying to, steer everybody. Oh, Steve's trying to make me spend more money. No, I'm trying. Well, only thing I'm trying to do, if you wanted to do it, is it's going to help make your food taste a little bit better. But there's nothing wrong.
Right.
I would say this: if I had to pick a next one in line after Botticelli and Rayo's, I would probably choose Newman's Own. Newman's Own is a fairly good quality sauce as well. A little bit cheaper, a little bit less expensive, but I would probably choose those three over the Bertolli and the Classico. Not that those are bad, they're not. But, you know, if you want a little bit better quality tasting food, that's what I would recommend in that recipe.
I want to try your chicken adobo, Steve. That sounds so good, like for a fresh meal on like a night when you're like kind of tired. Like to just, I mean, the instructions you just gave for that recipe is so simple, but it sounds like the outcome is going to be really delicious.
It is. All you're going to do is you're going to start off with a pot. You're going to start
Excuse
off
me.
with a pot of chicken drumsticks. You're going to put it in a pot, fill it up with water, get that started. Do that first. Then you're going to take, your cut up onion, olive oil. You're going to, caramelize your onions. Then you're going to add the garlic, and then do all of that. Then you're going to and then bring that, because garlic has a quicker burning point than the onion does. That's why I say a little later. Um,
Right.
and then and then you can add your sliced mushrooms if you want it. And then when your chicken is done, you just add it and then you just put soy sauce and roll it. Now, the soy sauce, that can be to your preference. Everybody's different. If you want it a little bit not so much on the soy, you can do that. I try to look for whenever I do the chicken adobo, I try to do like because if you can overdo the adobo and then it starts looking almost black, but not quite. I like for it to look like a light brown, a
Yeah.
light brown to a brown. You'll see it as you prepare it. You'll see it change color, um, and it's really you go because everybody asks me, well, how much of this do you use? How much of that do you use? I can't answer that because I don't measure. I eyeball everything. I just throw it in.
Yeah. And the person cooking it will learn how to eyeball things too as they go along. Because I eyeball a lot of stuff too. I'm not necessarily a measuring person either. No.
Hmm.
You know, another idea, Steve, regarding chicken. Suppose you buy one of those roast chickens outside, a barbecue chicken, and you have a lot of it left over. There's no reason you have to eat the same way off of that chicken like that. You could take these same measures, these same recipes, just utilizing leftover pieces from that roast chicken that you didn't have to cook. Okay. And another thing with the chicken adobo recipe, if you're boiling those chicken legs in there, you get to save that broth for future soups. So there's so many savings hidden in all of the recipes that Steve mentioned. It's incredible.
Well, I don't know if I. Well, I've never done that before. I've never saved the juice or the liquid from chicken adobo. I don't know how. I'm not saying you can't do it. How? I mean, you're going to have a soy sauce based broth.
No, no, no. I'm talking about the boiling separate pot of water with the chicken.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
That's a
That
broth right there.
that right there. Once you take the fat off, that is the most natural form of chicken flavoring you can have because it comes straight from
Yeah.
the chicken. Okay, that's a different. Okay, my mind was on the other one. That's
No,
right.
like in my case, I couldn't see me like discarding that water when it's something like, no, this is like free chicken broth. And I could throw in a bouillon cube and doctor that up for, put it away for the future for a soup as a base for a soup. So you're getting a lot of benefit from this, in my opinion.
You
No,
can. You
I
are.
really love the recipes that you chose. The other thing, Steve, I think people tend to overlook uh, the ground chicken, which can, you know, how people use ground turkey for recipes. Ground chicken is another option for other recipes too. That's low cost because sometimes people complain about boredom with eating. You know, okay, there are only like certain amounts of food groups. We have to be a little bit creative. So working with ground chicken is another option.
There's times that I'll go to the store and I'll buy ground chicken. It is a little bit less, not a whole lot. It's a little bit less per pound than the ground turkey. I'm just as happy with it. It tastes pretty much the same. I mean, there's not really
Yeah.
that drastic of a difference. When you use it, if you haven't used it, it's um it's pretty good. I mean, I've bought it on a few occasions. I've been happy with the turnout. I've used it in several recipes, you know. So, yeah, don't people think, "Oh, no, I'm not going to use ground turkey. I'm just going to stick with my ground or I'm just going to stick with my ground turkey. I'm not going to use ground chicken." No, don't do that because it's still a poultry. It's still a
Right.
poultry. No, no, no. Give it a try. It's about 30, well, usually around here, it's about 25 to 30 cents a pound less than what you would pay for ground turkey.
And
So,
don't overlook the incredible convenience of canned chicken. Remember, you were mentioning this to me recently that, you know, in your pantry with canned chicken, all the options like making some great chicken salad and stuff
yes.
of that nature. It's very convenient.
Hmm. Right. That I happened to mention that in the course of making the chicken pot pie. Um, but
Yes. Oh, oh, oh. Good,
but
good.
yeah, you can put it in there, but don't that one thing about that canned chicken breast is what it does is it cuts out one step. You don't have to go through the time of preparing the chicken. It's already done up. So that does cut out, 15, 20 minutes of prepare time to do up your chicken. I mean, it does in a
That's
pinch.
wonderful. You just reminded me of something with that chicken pot pie. For a person that doesn't want to make a pot pie in a pie thing, there's also the option of getting, you know, those like biscuits that you could get, those biscuits in the roll, like the Pillsbury type. You could cut them up, put them over the mixture you just described beautifully earlier, put it on top of that, and bake it off. And that's another form of a pot pie. Very simple and easy. Delicious.
I'll tell you what that reminds me of. Yeah, I guess it would be a form of a pot pie, but I'll tell you what it really, really reminds me of. Chick, chicken and dumplings.
Precisely.
Yeah. So that's right. So in actuality, there's a fifth one of the chicken and dumpling. Yeah, you could go that route. You don't have to use a pie crust. You can get your Pillsbury Grand biscuits and do the same thing. Right,
Absolutely.
layer it across and go from there. In
And
fact,
it's really good. I've had it. It's really good.
you know what? And come to think of it, I would rather go that route than to do a pie with it, honestly.
There you
'Cause
go.
I do like biscuits. So okay, well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Jan, thanks for coming by. As
Thanks for
always,
having me.
yes, you're welcome. Again, you guys always be on the lookout for Jan and I. Be on the lookout for just me alone. You know, if you like what you see, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. That would be great. And, I hope all of you have a great, whatever time of day it is. And we'll see you back here next time. Bye.
Bye bye.